Welcome back to another video, and today I'll be discussing the newest makeup announcements and releases. Welcome back, and today we are doing again this sort of every other 2 weekly video on my channel, which is discussing the newest makeup announcements and releases. And I do have to say the couple of 2 weeks have been a bit maybe slow. We definitely do have products to talk about, but there isn't a lot of things that, let's just say, wowed me in terms of releases, but still some interesting stuff. As always, you will be seeing the products that I'll be discussing here, and the accounts that the images have been taken from are in the description box, so give these people a follow on Instagram, because without them making these videos would be quite difficult. But I do think we're seeing a theme here. I'm thinking there's been a bit of glowy blush, like glowy blushes have been definitely a thing based on the releases that I've seen, and also there's been like a couple of bronzer products, yeah. So glowy blushes and bronzing products are definitely, I think, what would be the theme of this video, but let's get talking about the newest products. Okay, so let's start digging into my Instagram folder. So first of the bronzer releases, so Givenchy has announced that this is actually already available, so this is the Prisme Libre Bronzing and Contour Powder. This is in three shades. I will give them crap a bit about it. As a big luxury brand that Givenchy is, they could do better than doing 3 shades. And I also have to say the third shade doesn't look particularly deep. And I do have to say the 2 other shades, the lighter and mid-tone sort of shade, they look quite close in terms of like depth. So yeah, this is quite of an questionable shade range. But if we ignore the shade range, I do think this is quite of a like beautiful looking bronzer. I was like seriously contemplating that should I actually order this from their website, because these do kind of look quite nice how they've done the sort of embossing and overall the package design. I did check on their website. I think these were in euros, a bit over 50 euros, so definitely on the more expensive side, but this is a sort of high-end brand, so that is to be expected. If you want to get this one, this is already available. Morphe is continuing with the theme of burning lip products. Could we please, with the makeup brands, stop doing these lip products that are painful to wear? So Morphe has come out with the Cheek Thrills Multi-Finish. Oh wait, I think that is actually, there's a wrong description in this one. So this is actually the Morphe Hot Honey sort of lip oils, I think these are named. So basically, just when I saw the promotional images of this one, they already even like trying to hide in their promo that this is a lip product that's gonna be painful. I think they had like bees in the sort of promotional image, and then there were like flames, and I was like thinking immediately that okay, yeah, I didn't need the image of bees and chilies and stinging in my sort of lip product promos, but okay, Morphe can do you. But for me, this is obviously a skip. I don't want my lip products. I'm still traumatized by the NYX, was it Duck Plump? The ones that were like very painful, that was like having chili on your lips, and this is like called Hot Honey, so this is probably also going to be chili on your lips. If you like painful lip products, I think these should all be at least available in the States, and probably going to be soon also available in other Morphe retailers. So e.l.f. is jumping with the sort of lip balm train. So these sort of like tube lip balms that have a bit of pigment in them have been pretty trendy, and e.l.f. is now doing their own variation with this sort of sweet. I think they are saying that these are scented. They aren't supposed to like taste, but they are supposed to have this scent. So there's something that looks like cherry flavored, something toffee, coffee. There's strawberry. I think that's meant to be strawberry shortcake. Maybe some blueberries and gummy bears. I think in the I think in the e.l.f.'s own publication of this one, it said that to the European market these are going to be coming closer to summer, so far I think you're able to get these only in the States, but I don't need this one. I have plenty of lip balms and lip products in general, but if this is something that you have been interested in and you have been waiting particularly for e.l.f. to release their version of this one, then these at least are available in the US currently. Then one of the, I think, few indie palette and indie collection releases we had for this couple of weeks time. So bellabeautébar has released their Green Goddess collection. This is gonna be, I'm filming this on Saturday. I usually film on Sundays, but this weekend it's a bit of a busier weekend, so I'm doing like filming beforehand. So if you live in Europe, this will be stocked in Monolith Shop launch, which is actually gonna be tomorrow from when I'm filming this. So if you want to get the palette, unfortunately, I think I saw on Monolith's site that you can only get the palette and the green highlighter. I don't think they have the liquid eye and like lip products included in the Monolith's site's launch. If you're buying this directly from bellabeautébar's website, I think there's a loose pigment and, as I said, a liquid eyeshadow, and then I think there might be lip glosses included in this one. I looked at this color store and was thinking that okay, it's kind of this earthy green combined with some neutrals and red, and this isn't the primary color story that I usually go for. Again, I will always say when I see a color story like this that it looks beautiful, but I have the Beauty Bay for the Soup and Earthy palette, which basically, while Beauty Bay obviously being a more drugstore priced brand, there isn't going to be special shades, unlike, for example, in this Bella Beauty Bar palette, but I do still have kind of the color story existing in my collection. But if you want this one, it's soon going to be available in multiple places. So the cherry trend continues. Like, I don't know what happened. Did all the like makeup brands just like have a meeting last year where they just agreed that cherry is going to be the theme of like this year, and maybe at the, because we started seeing this cherry makeup product and cherry themed products coming out from beauty brands. I think it was like that the end half of last year, and now it seems to continue. But so e.l.f. Essence is jumping to the cherry train too. I do think some of the items were pretty cute. I do think, for example, the liquid lipstick and then the sort of highlighter and sort of blush product in this one, they are kind of cute, but I generally try to avoid buying these Essence limited edition launches just like I do with Catrice's, because I could basically run my channel just buying these things, because Essence and Catrice these days, they launch these limited edition launches so often that I could just basically keep buying these things and have just content based on them. But the downside of this one is that, especially with these limited edition launches, the quality has been quite varied with these products. That's why I usually focus on buying the sort of winter, spring and fall, summer launches that Essence and Catrice make, because usually the formulas have been a bit more consistent. With these limited edition collections, they kind of seem to do this thing that they test out formulas with these ones and see which are popular, that people want them to bring back, but because these are also used to maybe experiment what people want, the formulas aren't always great. But if you have been looking for this kind of cherry themed makeup at a drugstore price, especially here in Europe, because Essence is a German brand, then this could actually be a look into. And as I said, I did think a couple of things in this one were quite cute. So another European brand, so LH Cosmetics has come out with a bronzer sticks. I would say these are bronzer sticks because these are quite warm toned. I do think they have blushes in this format before. These are already at least available in our country, but I think our country, we tend to get the LH Cosmetics stuff quite quickly. I'm not in a need of a sort of new cream sort of bronzer stick. I recently had the Makeup Revolution one that in my sort of rotation. I have already reviewed that one in my channel, but I'm good with my bronzing cream sticks. But if you have been looking something like this from LH Cosmetics, this is already also available. Okay, then I'm gonna get back to a product that I mentioned in my last video, because apparently this isn't the fall launch, this is already available. So Dior has launched these sort of couture statement palettes. So these are Diorshow 5 colorist palettes, and with these ones there was also the mascara in the sort of faux leather packaging. You can already get these at least in some regions. I have been like updating the European Dior website, and so far there's a waiting list button when you click these eyeshadow palettes in their website, and also if you click the mascara. I do think this is one of the best packaging I have seen from Dior in a good while. Yeah, sure, we can say that, for example, YSL has been doing this faux leather packaging quite well, but I do think that, again, in terms of packaging, these are very beautiful. And I was kind of eyeing the cool toned mauvish color store quint of this one, but these are like 72 euros each, and I have much better ways of spending that money. But if you were like thinking that this is fall release, no, this is actually like a release that they're doing in the side of their summer release. I'd have to say, like, high-end brands are really doing a lot of releases, because I feel that because we now had the Dior's, like there's the main summer line, then we had this one, and we have seen the sneak peek of the Backstage palette that is gonna probably be launching because it has been leaked now. I think it's gonna be it's not gonna take that long time for that Backstage palette to launch. So I think for Dior, because usually with luxury brands, they kinda tend to like release like they don't release usually as quickly as maybe some drugstore or indie brands. So I'm a bit surprised that Dior is launching this much, but if you wanted these should be available soon, or should already be available. More cherry themed things. So Tarte is bringing the sort of cherry themed packaging in all the variation of their lip products. This is a bit running joke for me that I can't keep up with Tarte's lip products because they have done now this click pen format in all the formats you can do. Because you can basically see it from this image because they basically have the one with the sort of spongy thing. I think that's meant to be a. Do they actually have 2 lip oils in this? Oh my gosh. Why do they have so many? Like, they could have just 1 lip oil kind of product. They don't need 2, but this looks like they have 2. And then you have the sort of one that I think is a lipstick, and then the 2 maracuja one, which I think one might be the plumping variation or one might be the normal one. I don't need any of these, but if you were looking for cherry themed colors in Tarte's lip product range, these should already be available. But I do think that this definitely just shows that Tarte has a very big range of lip products currently. So more bronzers. So Moira will be releasing their Stay Golden bronzer and contour. So this is basically in the same sort of formula and format that they have their cream blushes in. I tried the blush in this formula when Moira launched in our country, and it wasn't my sort of favorite cream blush formula. I ended up decluttering it because I think it was a bit mediocre. So I am a bit curious to see how this is. It says Stay Golden. It kind of looks that the formula, it looks like to be a bit of a glowier formula, so I would have to see this in store. That is it actually, is it something that I want to get, because I think said quite many times that with bronzing and contouring shades I would rather them be matte or a satin formula, but if it's a glowy one it necessarily isn't something that I like. But this, at least I think, is it already available? I think it's available on Moira's own website, but for example, to here in Europe, it seems that the Moira stuff seems to come a bit slower, so we might still have to wait a bit. But yeah, if you live in States, you should be able to buy these already. Another glowy blush. So ColourPop is launching their liquid blushes in a shimmer formula. I don't think anyone is particularly surprised about this one, because I do know that the original liquid blushes in this same packaging, I think those were quite popular, and I do think they got decent amount of, like, pretty decent reviews, so I'm not surprised that ColourPop is extending this line and having these in a glowier formula. ColourPop, again, is a brand that's quite hard for me to get, because I would have to order it from States, and at this point I have no idea how much it would be, how much it would like cost to order anything from US, because I'm suspecting with the current situation that we're having with the tariffs and things, it probably will be expensive. So for those of you in US, if you are looking for a glowy blush, especially from ColourPop, this is probably a good option. For the rest of us, I think we might have to maybe see some options that are a bit closer and easier to get. Then a collection that I actually momentarily thought that I might actually order this, but I am still kind of thinking. So Kiko has launched a limited collection with Emma Roberts, and I believe she's an actress, at least based on, we all know that I'm not very good with current celebrities and what they actually do, but yeah, so Emma Roberts is a actress and she has launched a line with Kiko Milano. I do kind of like the combination of red and this sort of red and nude packaging that we have going on. As always with Kiko, there's a lot. We have concealers. At least this time with the concealers we had I don't think we still had quite of a good line of them, but there was like more than one shade, because the Kind by Kiko collection that they launched previously, this one I absolutely roasted that, because there wasn't any shade variation between different products. You had one shade of bronzer and one shade of blush, and I think that was like pretty awful from them. But with this one, at least with the concealer, I think there were several shades, and I do also think with the cream bronzer that this has and with the blush duos there were like several shade options, so this is better. For some reason the eyeshadow palette was really appealing to me, and I really have to think that why is it, because if you look at the eyeshadow palettes, that's the most boring neutral palette that I can say safely. I have this 100 times over, and I think even considering the Kiko palettes that I have, because the 2 that I still have in my collection, those are quite neutral, I was thinking that why is this appealing to me, because I truly like have that already. I think the things that I would, if I would make the order, like I would still, obviously I would get the eyeshadow palette. I like reviewing eyeshadow palettes. I do think that Kiko, we have had some hits and misses with their eyeshadow formula, but at least the ones that I have tried have been pretty good recently. I would get one of the blush duos, and then I would probably actually get one of these, because this is a lip product that I don't have from Kiko yet, so the double-sided lip product which has the liquid lipstick and I think the gloss, and I think this is one of the lip products that I think the gloss is maybe made to have the effect that it actually makes the liquid lipstick last longer. So yeah, those actually would be the products. Some other products that I think would be like nice to get would be the Stylo lipstick that I think is in their more glowy formula and the cream bronzer, but with those I would really have to like make the consideration that I have like, considering that for example that the like sort of bullet lipsticks that I have from Kiko, I have quite a few in my drawers. I haven't actually never tried this Stylo, the small Stylo lipsticks. I actually haven't tried, so that again is a formula that I haven't tried, but I don't really need to collect like all of the Kiko liquid lipstick formulas. And with the cream sort of bronzer that the bronzer this has, that would also be nice to try, but then I have to remind myself that I have two cream bronzer sticks from Kiko, and the other one is something that I haven't even opened. So I think what I would prioritize is one of the like double-sided lip product, the blush duos and the eyeshadow, if it's something that I would be buying. But currently, still, this is something that's a bit on my sort of maybe pile. So Zoeva is a brand that we don't hear a lot from. So Zoeva is apparently launching a new mascara. This is called the Voila Lash Volume Mascara. So it has a bit of an hourglass shaped wand, and it looks like it has plastic bristles. I do have to say, considering that at one point Zoeva, it was quite of a sort of popular brand within the makeup community, and especially here in Europe, because I think Zoeva, I believe they're a German-based brand, but I don't think we have seen them, a lot of them, from the couple of last years, because and I'm currently thinking that unless you order from their website, I don't know are there any other places currently that I could actually get their products from, because Beauty Bay used to carry them, but I am a bit unsure currently that could you get their products even from there. But if Zoeva is a brand that's available to you and you're looking for a volumizing mascara, then this could maybe be something to try out. I do actually kind of like the packaging. The hot pink color is quite nice. Fenty Beauty is currently extending their eyeshadow stick shades, so there's now 3 new shades, and these look to be more shimmery ones. So we have, what are the colors called? How Many Carats, Champion, and Miss Prissy are the shades. I have my Kiko Milano eyeshadow sticks. I'm pretty happy with them. The Fenty eyeshadow stick formula, I have no doubt that this is probably a very good eyeshadow for stick eyeshadow formula, but I just stick with the Kiko ones. Those are less expensive than Fenty, but if you have been looking for new eyeshadow sticks shade from Fenty, I do think these should be. It doesn't say when these are going to be available, but probably soon. Fenty has been releasing quite a lot recently, because they came out with the lip oil range, they came out with the limited edition cherry range. I am still thinking and hoping the cherry range would come to other retailers. That seemed to be a range they specifically launched for the Sephora VIB sale, which is obviously you can only shop that in US, but I'm kind of hoping that maybe the cherry products would come to Europe, because there were a couple of tempting things in that launch. But now, aside from those, we also have the shadow stick. So I think this is a lot, because Fenty is also a brand that usually we don't see that many back-to-back launches from them, so this is also a bit maybe unusual for them. And then the most probably exciting launches, and this probably tells a lot about my makeup preferences, if we didn't already guess it when we were talking about the Kiko Emma Roberts collection. So Glaminatrix is bringing back their Nearly Natural palette, but they are now doing this, so they have reformulated this one and they have added some shades. I do think that the new shades in the bottom row especially, those seem to be shades that were in the Barely Basic palette. So I do think that if you have the original Nearly Natural palette and the Barely Basic palette, I don't think you're gonna need this one. However, as someone who doesn't have either of those palettes, and the Barely Basic palette was something that the original palette, it was momentarily available in Monolith Shop, because I think they got it just when they started selling Glaminatrix on there, but I think it sold out pretty quickly, and then Glaminatrix sort of discontinued the original palette. And the Barely Basic palette was something, and it was one of those neutral palettes that launched during last year that was in my shopping list for the longest time, but for some reason I didn't push the buy button. But anyway, because this sort of now combines both of them, and I don't have either one, so for me this actually could be perfect. And yeah, the Rich Romantic palette, I have discussed, I have a bit of issues with the shimmer formula of that one, but because this seems to be now a newer formula, I think this doesn't seem similar with the, at least with the Rich Romantic formula, so I'm thinking that if this comes to Monolith Shop, I might get this one. And we all knew that I didn't need another neutral palette, but I do think like this looks very, very beautiful, and I would be willing to give the brand now another try. Is this the last launch? Yeah, this is the last release of the year, and again, more glowy blushes. So Unearthly has released this sort of glowy blush range. I think they're calling this just glowy blushes. And I do think that like it's an okay, like this as a blush range, this isn't anything extraordinary. I think Unearthly, they have had like powder blushes before, so this is just probably their powder blushes now in a glowy formula, obviously. I don't need any of these. I don't know, are these gonna become available in Monolith Shop, because with Monolith Shop, usually with the other products than eyeshadow palettes, they kind of pick and choose the ones that get most demand. So I'm a bit unsure that are all these shades gonna come to Monolith Shop, or maybe some of them. But if you like your glowy blushes and you like Unearthly Cosmetics, then I think this could be something to try out. But for me, I'm not in a hurry to try this out because I have plenty of blushes, and again, glowy blushes isn't a primary blush formula that I like. I like my blushes to be matte or satin. But yeah, always excited though to see indie brands branching beyond eyeshadow palettes. So I do think it's still a smart release for them to sort of expand their sort of cheap range. But yeah, that was actually the last product we had for today. So it was a bit of a meh week, I'm gonna be like honest. Good thing for my wallet means that there's gonna be like my money's gonna be safe in my bank account, so we can be happy about that one. I do think definitely like the most interesting release. It was the Glaminatrix redone fairly basic palette. It's still like bit like thinking that yeah, it's an neutral palette, and I definitely have also with indie palettes quite many neutral palettes at this point, but like I think that's like the only palette that I'm putting like the mark on, that I'm gonna wait for Monolith Shop to announce that if they're gonna have it in the launch, and seeing how much the palette cost, it's something that I'm gonna be getting. But I do know that it's definitely not gonna be in the Monolith launch that's gonna happen tomorrow, because Glaminatrix, I think they just revealed it, and I don't think they even have the palette out for. I think they might have just gotten out to the like out as a PR, so it's probably gonna take for a while for it to launch in Australia, so it's probably also gonna take some time for it to get to here in Europe. But yeah, not much happening currently in the makeup market, but I do think that we are probably like preparing now for the summer releases. I do think we have had like decent amount of summer releases from luxury brands already, but I do think that from now on forward we're gonna be seeing now also more summer releases from indie brands and sort of drugstore brands onward. Comment down below what you think about the new launches, and if you like this video, push the like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell button if you want to get notifications from future content. You can also find me with the same nickname, Makeup Hedgehog, on Instagram. I hope I can see you soon in another video. Bye bye!